All right, let's do it. Today, November 1st, 2020, coming at you. There's a little delay till we start here, but hopefully we'll be all right with connecting it up and be there. I did it last week. I said that, oh yeah, if we lose it into a live stream turns to a podcast, and then that's what happened. So we lost connection, so hopefully that doesn't happen at all, but hopefully I didn't get the jinx on there too, guys. But today we're going to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1, Episode 4. The first we're going to talk about a couple different things. Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1, Episode 4 and 5, and I guess the series as a whole so far. And also Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. The last half hour, we'll talk about the spoilers and the breakdown and the stuff for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4, and also Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1, Episode 5. So basically, the mid-season halfway points of, the World Beyond is the mid-season episode, because there's only 10 episodes, and this was Season 1, Episode 5. And also, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4 is the halfway point of the sixth season, the first half. So we're getting there, guys, getting closer to it. But spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead show, comics, spin-offs, movies, everything related to the Walking Dead universe. Spoiler warning. What's going on? Mark, Alexander, Jeannie, ZD Ghost, M King, Lindsay, and everybody else joining right now. R.I.P. Sean Connery. That's definitely something that I definitely want to talk about here a little bit. I know it's not Walking Dead, but there's some things we're going to cover, like yesterday, Halloween. Happy Halloween. If you celebrate it, if you have little kids, if you had trick-or-treaters, if you go to a party, I don't know if people are still doing that this year. I didn't do anything. I didn't have any trick-or-treaters. Didn't have anything because I didn't have candy either way. So that was a good thing that we didn't have it. But yesterday, happy Halloween to yours. I know it's belated, but I had my videos yesterday, and I'm talking to you live right here too. So R.I.P. Sean Connery. That was something. He's 90 years old, or he was 90 years old. So that's a good life. You know, it's one of those things where how old were they? Okay, but it's still sad. He hasn't really been in any movies for a while now, and I know him from different things. Some people know him as James Bond. Some people know him as Indiana Jones's father. Some people know him from, being in The Rock or different movies altogether. Overall, he was hilarious. He was great. He was a great actor. He was in a bunch of movies that I'm missing that I forgot. What was your favorite Sean Connery movie, or I guess part in the movie that he was in there too? So let me know in the comments. Highlander, I was going to say that Negan one. He was in the first Highlander, I believe, right? Can't remember the second one. Maybe he had a cameo or something. He's in the first two, but in the Highlander series for sure. So overall, guys, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is killing it. Is doing good. He was definitely something. Untouchables, yeah, the great. These are great choices. You guys are coming up with some great stuff. But Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is definitely great. It's definitely a good show, good series so far this season of it. I think it's a shame that it took, 6 seasons to finally get the show that we kind of wanted to get all along. But better late than never. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is good. I'm enjoying it. Walking Dead World Beyond, I am enjoying it, but I know why some people aren't. And that's okay, but I don't want to hear people putting down the show just to put it down. It's not going to be the most action-packed, over-the-top story. I mean, we're following teenagers. So it's turning into a show that isn't for everybody. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be. But let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead last episode. So Season 6, Episode 3. Althea, Dwight, a little bit of Morgan. What did you think? We talked about it like in the last half hour here. I'll talk about the latest episodes of Fear the Walking Dead and the World Beyond the last half hour. So the first half hour, we'll talk about some stuff that's non-spoiler. Well, I guess it's spoilers, but if the episode's been out for a week or two or several weeks, I got to put out that general spoiler warning. But I thought it was great when Dwight and Sherry came together. And I'm not going to lie, it was an emotional thing when Dwight's running down the alley with the music and the emotion, and Sherry starts breaking down, and Dwight and Sherry are smiling and kissing, and the camera was spinning around them. It was cool. It was good. I guess we feel emotion when we like these characters. We love these characters. We like what's going on. And you put yourself in their shoes. Like if I was Dwight and I was finding my wife or my loved one that I haven't seen in years, I would break down too, and I would be excited, and I would sprint as fast as I could down that alley, hug the person. It was a great emotion to put yourself in their shoes. And it was like, man, it was great. One thing, it's great because that has come to, fruition now. We finally got to see, some stuff doesn't always work out, but, Sherry, we kind of knew was going to be reunited with Dwight from pictures of filming, and we kind of had some things too as well. M King asked, hey chat, what was in the last episode Sherry was in? Anyone? The last episode Sherry was in, I believe, was season 7 of The Walking Dead. She's written notes to Dwight in season 7 and season 8 and Fear the Walking Dead. But last time I say we saw her, I believe, was The Walking Dead season 7 too. So, I do like the idea of them having the feel that the episode progresses the story, but also is kind of contained with the characters, and they're doing a really good job with it too. So the first episode was Morgan. What happened to him? Everything was good. Not everything was good, but he turned out to be okay. We met Emil, the headhunter, and the guys with the submarine and stuff like there too, and he's trying to get the key and that. And then the next one was Strand, and a little bit of Morgan there, but not really anything much. But Strand, Daniel, and Alicia. And then in episode 3 was Morgan again. They're giving you like these little, besides the first episode of Morgan, they're giving you like the little tidbits of Morgan. They're giving you a little story that's there and building up and building up and building up. And hopefully it really builds up for something in the mid-season finale, season 6, episode 8. And then they're still filming right now for the second half of season 6. So I don't know if they're almost done, if they got several more episodes, what to do. But I don't know. It's pretty cool stuff to see how it's breaking down for it. And overall, it's really good. It's copying some things from The Walking Dead, a lot of things that worked, and that's okay. This is part of The Walking Dead universe. Why not do it? Why not have that? It's just a shame that it took 6 seasons to really get to the point now where we're like, okay, we got some good characters, we got some story, we got a villain that's annoying, terrible, kind of like a good villain for the show. I mean, I would say that Ginny is probably the best villain that we've had in Fear the Walking Dead. Right? Do you think so? I think so. But Alexander Romero asks, Q&A, maybe I missed it, but did Fear the Walking Dead establish that Ginny's group trades gas to the CRM? No, there's no correlation or connection with gas, with CRM, with Ginny's group to them. Not as far as I know. And that's a great question, Alexander, because so many people, like, I don't know if it happens with other shows and other genres and other universes and other things in there too, but The Walking Dead is one of the most highly speculated universes I've ever seen in something, right? They're like, well, A and B, and Rick went away, and he was there, and Rick was this, and CRM, and helicopter this, and that, and Morgan was here, and Morgan knows them, and Morgan knows this, and the CRM has to know about Virginia's group, right? Well, not really. Virginia's group is in Texas. All their settlements, I believe, are just in Texas. I would assume that maybe CRM knows some things about it, but they stay in the shadows. They're the hidden city. They don't mess with anybody. And if they do, they eradicate them. And if CRM or the Civic Republic and CRM aspect of it, if they got a bunch of military, a bunch of things, and a bunch of people go in, they would probably go in and wipe Virginia out and just take the gas. I don't really think they would go in and just be like, you know what, we're going to work on trades. And maybe they did, and maybe they will, or maybe they have, but we just haven't seen that yet. But right now, everything is still up in the air. And, I keep bringing it up on channels, and ultimately I want to be positive, inspirational, motivational, educational, entertaining, and all that stuff. But it just seems that so many people are going to channels online, and they're going for this. Like recently, hopefully you saw my other videos about Andrew Lincoln, his filmography on IMDb. And this is a great point because the filmography on some actors on IMDb is wrong. A lot of stuff, I don't know who contributes the information to IMDb. I don't know who actually is the person to fact check things and whatever, or is it like people can just put stuff up there? And that's what it was, right? So The Walking Dead World Beyond was on Andrew Lincoln's filmography. And if you went on the website online, not the mobile, you could see it was season 1, episode 10 is what somebody put there. It spread like wildfire. Everybody was saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's going to be on The World Beyond. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Got to check, got to fact check, right? And I was like, okay. And then AMC, Insider, some interviews, somebody said something to some people and then they checked it and now it's off of there. So it's not on there. So was it could be one or two things, or I guess a couple different things, but I think of one or two things. One, it was put there on error. Just a troll. Just by mistake. It was just wrong. It wasn't supposed to be there. Or two, it was supposed to be there, or it is happening, and somebody put it there who knows some information. So it's either legit or fake. But I think the latest thing is that it's not happening and it's fake. And I believe AMC stepped up and they said that it's not legit, it's not real. And then since then, IMDb has taken it down. Or somebody put it up there to draw interest to the show. Because if you go to the ratings and the views and the ratings on IMDb, The Walking Dead World Beyond, I think is like 4.1 out of 10. And for so many episodes, they're getting like 6 out of 10 or even lower than that, right? I'm fine with it. I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to watch all 10 episodes. I've already watched the first 5 episodes. I'm invested. It connects with CRM. I can see where the story could go, where it's going to go. I just think it could be there too. So, hey, Diana. Hey, Wilson. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys. My awesome subscribers, my members, my patrons, my moderators. Thank you very much. We just hit 94,000 or just over 94,000 subscribers a couple days ago. Yesterday for sure. I think 2 days ago we actually hit it and we kept it yesterday. So hopefully we'll keep the amount of people and we'll continue to go and grow on there too. So we got just under 6,000 more to go for our goal of 100,000 subscribers, right? And I was thinking about this too, that it's not a big deal to hit 100,000 subscribers, but it's a goal of mine, right? And I'm a physical therapist. We have short-term goals and long-term goals. And that's how we make things up in the physical therapy world. If someone, we increase their strength or their walking ability, their gait, their distance, their balance, their endurance, whatever it is, we have different goals for different people for what they come to therapy for. Short-term goals are 2 weeks. Long-term goals are at least 4 weeks, sometimes beyond that. So it's good to have short-term goals, long-term goals, and it kind of carries over to my life, just how I do things. I would like to do this or save this amount of money or open this bank account or whatever. And I think it's one of those things that everybody should do, right? So, I don't know, people are asking a lot of good questions, but basically the goal is you should have goals in life. The underlying thing I was trying to get is you should have goals. And one of my goals is 100,000 subscribers. And, I have, 94,000 subscribers, or we have 94,000. I don't like to think of it as I think it's we, because I think of this as a community, a group, a channel, a big thing, a family, not just me. And I'm not a dictator here. I'm just here to have the forum for everybody and have different things for everybody and just do what it is. But I think we have a legit 94,000 subscribers, right? Now, I have, an Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that too. And there's stuff that comes up on Instagram that people come there too. And they're like, oh, we can get you subscribers. We can get you followers. We can get you these things. Just pay this amount of money. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, one, I'm not going to pay somebody because that's ridiculous. I don't really care about it that much, but some people might. Some people on social media and other channels in our group, they might. So, I don't know if people have actually legitimate numbers or what, but I think we have a legit amount of subscribers that are real, that are cool, that are awesome, that are good people. Some people are probably subscribers to the channel to hate on the channel, but, some people are here for the right reasons, and, we still have good things. We have good times, right? So, but again, guys, please don't post any spoilers. Don't say anything there too about it in the chat. The last half hour, I'll talk about the spoilers because I know not everybody has seen the episodes. I saw The Walking Dead World Beyond on Friday or Saturday, I forget what it was. And then Fear the Walking Dead, I watched it a couple hours ago, and I was trying to get some information, pictures and photos and stuff together for the review that I have to make. But today has been crazy, so hopefully it's 1 o'clock, 1:14 here on the East Coast of the United States in Florida. Hopefully you're okay with the daylight savings. We gained an hour because we fell back an hour. You fall back, spring ahead, fall back, spring ahead. And so we woke up, and my cat woke up, Milo. If you haven't seen him on Instagram, you can see him in his Halloween costume. He hates it, by the way, but I keep it in there for like a couple seconds, get the picture, and then take it off, right? Too. So he comes knocking on my door at it would normally be like 8 o'clock, but now it's 7 o'clock. So it's like, what are you doing? So I wake up, give him his food, make sure he's got everything there too. And so I was like, man, but it's a crazy morning. My wife and I, we went to Walgreens to get a couple things this morning, come back, do this, cook breakfast, watch Fear the Walking Dead, the latest episode. And then I fixed something in the house. It was just a little crazy. And then right now it's been a little crazy morning. It's one of those crazy days too. But overall, something good to have. Fear the Walking Dead to look forward to. Season 6, episode 4 is another good episode. Like all of them have been good so far. Now, The Walking Dead World Beyond, I would assume everybody in here likes The Walking Dead World Beyond. You don't have to. If you're in here and you don't like it, that's okay. I'm not going to harp on anybody and say, get out of here, you should like it or don't, right? Too. So it's like, I don't, some people don't know. I saw this great line, this great context of it there too, where it's basically like you could talk to somebody about me and they would tell you, oh man, he's a great guy. I love that guy. He's awesome, right? And then you could talk to somebody else and they could say, I hate that guy. He does this, he does that. He's not very nice, right? Who should you believe? You should believe both of them, because I don't treat people rudely or disrespectfully. I treat people appropriately. When people are nice, outgoing, talkative, friendly, respectful, just a nice person, I'm nice to them and great. When somebody's rude, disrespectful, comes at me, curses at me, is just not nice and just basically goes there, they're out. They're blocked. They're banned. Whatever, it's like, come on, I got zero tolerance for that stuff too. Also, my wife and I, we watched an interesting movie last night about social media. And if you have Netflix or you have access to different stuff online, definitely want to watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. I watched an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, or the Joe Rogan Experience. He was talking to Tristan, I don't know his last name, but one of the guys from that movie. It's a documentary about social media and the algorithms that YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these different places have, right? Wilson, it's a documentary movie called The Social Dilemma. And if everybody who has social media, if you're on YouTube, you have social media. If you have Instagram, if you have Facebook, you have anything like that too. Whether you're a teenager, an adult, older adult, middle age, whatever, it doesn't matter. You definitely need to check that out because it's very interesting, right? So yeah, some people have seen it. It's kind of scary because it's something that I like it that it's more educational than anything, but everybody is monitoring everything that you do online. And everybody is storing, not everybody. The companies, though, YouTube and Facebook and all the social media companies, they have a database that basically stores all your information. Where do you go? How many clicks? What do you do? What do you click on? What do you do? What do you watch? How long do you watch something? What's the next thing? And based on your view history of things, what you do, who you're friends with, and everything there, they have an algorithm, and they tell you basically their feed on Instagram and Facebook and everything on those places. I guess on Instagram you follow different things, but on Facebook, your feed is basically stuff that you've been a part of, that you've gone to in your history. So your feed is going to be different than your feed, is going to be different than my feed, is going to be different than her feed, different than your feed. But I would assume a lot of us are going to have Walking Dead stuff on there and whatever too. And like my feed is totally different than my wife's. My wife is watching something on her phone and it's like really loud and whatever. And I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, a clip. And I'm like, what are you watching a clip of? And she's like, oh, it's of this show and of this thing on there too. And I was like, that's totally different than I would ever have on mine. And you need to start thinking about it. The scary thing about it, to summarize it up, you should definitely go check it out even after me telling you this. It's that the world is extremely divided right now, right? And I'm not here to preach about Democrats, Republicans, what do you believe in, what do you not? Because Right. Darth Cody says, all life is precious, right? I agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, there's certain life and people there too. So it says, Darth Cody says, all wife is precious. So, but, ultimately, we should treat people better. We should treat people with respect and dignity and everything, whether it's online, in person, in your car, driving, passenger, whatever it is, right? But people don't. People don't care. People don't care about people's well-being. People don't care about, other people's views and things. If you're not on the same belief system as some people, then you're wrong, right? No, that's not the way it is, but that's the way it is for a lot of people. Or that's what people are making people think on the news, on social media. They're painting this picture of things. And there's a good point here, my last part on it, definitely go check it out, is that the guy Tristan, who worked for YouTube or Google, and you see the tracker of these people. Some people worked for Facebook and Pinterest and this and that, and they worked for all these different companies, right? But basically is what's happening is that your feed or the news or wherever is telling you all these things that are painting this picture of how bad things are. If you watch the news, you know that the big stuff that they lead off with is a lot of bad stories, bad things, the fighting here, the arguing here, the disagreements, all these different things, right? And it was interesting because the one guy was talking to his friend in Oregon. And I think this was an interview with Joe Rogan, not actually in the documentary. But he called up his friend in Oregon. And he said, yeah, life is great here. It's sunny out. It's nice. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go out with my dogs and my wife. We're going to go for a run or a walk or whatever. But on the news, they're painting this picture as it's a war zone. It's crazy. There's a divide. There's these people fighting this people. It's that. It's this. Oh my God, the world's breaking down. It's coming to an end. And the guy's like, no, that's like a small block of Oregon, of downtown Portland or something, like a very small area. That's not Oregon as a whole. That's not everything going on there too. But you look at these things and you're like, oh man, and it's just ridiculous. It's fake news. It's this. It's crazy. It's over the top. Maybe it's legit, but they're focusing on all these things, and it just makes us more divided, more things for all this, right? And it's not right. It's not the right thing to do. And they say some great stuff in it, like until we all come together, like what is the truth? What is the legit stuff? What is the real stuff? Nobody truly knows, but everybody just disagrees, and it's okay, right? It's just crazy there too. So. Like Jeannie says, like 4 blocks according to my peeps who live there. Right. 4 blocks of a major city. Like Portland is a giant city. 4 blocks is not the entire city. It's not all downtown. But they make you believe all this stuff and all this craziness on there too because they control information. They control stuff that's out there. And I'm not here to tell you what to believe, what not to believe on there too. But just use common sense. And if we all started using more common sense, we would be a lot better off, right? And the last thing I want to say about it, truly the last thing I want to say about it, is Joe Rogan said something that was so funny. He was like, yeah, I watch these things and this, but I'm a 50-year-old man. I know what is the BS. I know what to believe. I know what not to believe, right? But look at the 14-year-old kid, the 16-year-old kid, the 18-year-old kid who's impressionable, who buys into this stuff and sees all this stuff, and you see all these crazy things of all these different rallies and all these different problems and all this different hate that's going around. So then people start getting fired up and they start doing that. It's a dangerous thing, but definitely check it out. And sorry I got sidetracked, but I watched that last night. Definitely check it out. It's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix. And it's really good for sure. But so I talked about the Walking Dead World Beyond Andrew Lincoln stuff that turns out that it looks like it's not to be true. The different things about, I guess, World Beyond as a whole. There, Darth Cody asked, PT, did you get bit? No, I didn't get bit. I'm good. I don't know what we're talking about. But The Walking Dead is still filming the 6 extra episodes. The Ross Marquand video, hopefully you saw him on Instagram. Give him a follow at Ross Marquand. He shaved, so a lot of people are freaking out, and it's crazy to think that, you know, and people brought up some great points, and that's why I love the community and the people who comment on here. They bring up sometimes points that I forgot on there too, or I didn't mention in the video, that Jerry, Cooper Andrews, he shaved about a year ago or so, and people are like, oh man, he's going to die, he's going to do this, and like he completely shaved, right? So that does not mean, and Jerry is very much alive going into the six extra episodes for season 10 into season 11, right? Too. So the ultimate thing is that he wouldn't be putting it on the on social media if it wasn't okayed. And that does not mean and I think Jeannie said it in one of the comments. I highly doubt that Ross Marquand are going to, or Aaron's going to die in one of the 6 extra episodes. I doubt anyone's going to die in the 6 extra episodes. I think it's going to be nice. I don't want to say filler, but I do think it's going to be like a jumping off point to go into a stopgap, a bridge to season 11. We'll see more with the Negan story. Hopefully we get the Negan backstory. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully we'll get more about Maggie and Negan, a little more Commonwealth angle, rebuilding Hilltop. But you can't take away from season 11. But with that being said, I just hope it works. I hope it goes well. I hope it does a lot of good things to it. The Maggie story would be good to have a little more of that. Hopefully we find out who the masked fighter actually is. Is it actually the name that's going around? Is that somebody else? Did he actually die doing something? How is Georgie connected with all this? You know, I'm just not sure too. So the masked fighter coming to it. Is he going to be unmasked? You know, we'll see if he actually does that. But I heard a rumor that they did cast somebody, and I don't know if that's actually going to be the masked fighter or not too. So, but yeah, I don't know. Some people don't like the new show, and that's okay. You don't have to like the new show. But you know, it's part of the Walking Dead universe. So if you like Fear the Walking Dead, it's definitely something that you should be able to watch the Walking Dead World Beyond somewhat too, because there's a lot of episodes in Fear the Walking Dead, not now, but previous seasons, that were tough to watch. That wasn't the best story, wasn't the best acting, wasn't the best character development. It wasn't like the best thing. And people are still watching it now. And I've seen people say that Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead now. I don't think so, but I'll put up The Walking Dead Season 6 against the Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. And I think The Walking Dead Season 6 is really tough to beat. I mean, that's a great season. And we shouldn't really compare them or, you know, have a thing where we're saying which one's better, because they're part of the same universe. And it's really cool that we're finally getting to see that more and more and more. I hope that Isabel comes back around. I don't know if Isabel will, because so last episode, I want to bring up 2 questions, or a couple questions at least, and then I'll get into the spoilers for the next episodes, because that'll probably take us into the last half hour. So Morgan, you know, made his hybrid axe and bow staff. So it's a bow staff axe. I don't know if however you want to say it, a back staff. So, but it was pretty cool, and it's definitely an awesome weapon. It's one of the cooler weapons in Fear the Walking Dead for sure. And then we get to see Althea and Dwight go to a funeral home. They go into there, and, you know, people are saying that, you know, because I asked the question, how did that walker that was embalmed and whatever, how did she sneak up on Althea? And some people are saying, well, she had her mouth sewn shut. Well, okay, great, but you can make noise with your mouth shut like this, and you hit the thing, and you're walking, and you're making noise, like you can still make noise. Like, you don't have to have your mouth wide open to make noise. You walk, you bang into the door, you have shoes on, you're on tile floor, you're making noise, right? I mean, that's just what happens. You're doing, I don't know. So, but either way, it doesn't really matter. And then how did Nora and Nora's group live in that high rise for all those years? 4 or 5, 6 years? How long has it been, right? Like, I don't know, like, how it's going to be a thing. And I hope that Isabel comes back around, because it's one of those things where she was heard but not seen. She was on the radio, and I wonder if she's going to get in trouble because of the, I guess, conversation that probably other people were hearing on that radio frequency, on that channel. So she's probably got to answer questions about that. And I hope they come back around. Like, I really hope that wasn't the only CRM connection for this season. Maybe CRM does get in, come and get involved with Ginny's people and the gas and our group, and they get taken away. Because season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead is not the last season. They never said it was going to be the last season, so I would assume there's a plan for at least the 7th season. So I just don't know what the plan is for that too. But overall, good episode. There's going to be some far-fetched things, stuff that makes you go, don't know if it's plot holes or stuff they just glance over or whatever you want to call it. But there are some things that are like, I don't know if, like, it's not that big a deal for story anymore, because they do cover their bases for it. But let's get into the spoilers, guys. We'll go in for the next half hour for The Walking Dead World Beyond and the Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. It's a good episode. It focuses on John Dory. Mostly John's the main focus of the episode. You do see John, you do see Strand, you do see Janice. Janice is the girl that was in the second episode with Strand and Alicia. It was her brother that got killed with the camera, where he's like making that stupid face. She's involved with the episode. You see the rabbi, you see Ginny, you see Dakota, you see Morgan, you see Rufus, and you see the two guys in the submarine. It doesn't really go in that order, but that's... So basically, John is, I guess, a patrolman, a cop, a police officer for Lawton. He's living in Lawton. And so he is just the guy there. You can see the opening minutes, and they're good opening minutes. It kind of has a whole sequence of it where he's doing that. And John is starting his day. He wakes up. He's brushing his teeth. He has a tooth problem. It reminds me a lot of Castaway. And I'm glad they're finally focusing on that, because if you haven't seen a dentist in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're going to have some dental problems. You're going to have some cavities. You're going to have some tartar buildup. You're going to have some terrible things. A dentist is pretty important all the time, even though the dentist, isn't the most favorable professional to go see, but it's pretty important. And there is no dentist in it, but there is a tooth problem for John. And you can watch the opening minutes on YouTube. I know somebody uploaded them, so you can go check it out. John goes and he comes to see this guy. You find out that the guy is Cameron, who is basically a night shift. John wakes up, goes to there. He switches. They switch places. They're like the guards in the little watchtower thing that they have, a little like wood makeshift watchtower. So Cameron is the guy that's there. John keeps spelling him. He's like the next shift, right? So he goes and he leaves. And then it keeps showing that John wakes up, does this, gets ready, gets his guns out of the storage locker. They hide stuff away. He comes there, and the sequence runs for a couple times. And then, Eddie says he eats too many candies. That's why his tooth is messed up for sure. That's definitely part of it. In one of the coffee or one of the things, he has one of the candies in there, and you can see that's definitely not helping that too for sure. So he goes to the spot where Cameron usually is, but Cameron's not there this time. And he's like, something's wrong. So then he walks around and he checks it out, or he stops, and that's like the opening. And then he goes and there's the opening. It's John Dory on the opening sequence, because every episode opening, it's like one thing, right? Then it cuts to Morgan, and he goes into a building that's a fireworks like depot thing, like a little storage thing for fireworks. He opens the door. There's nothing in there. He puts his axe down. He opens up a box that says like germicide stuff for like hair products. And there's a left by Daniel Salazar, DS, Daniel Salazar. And inside it says a note. And it says that I found this jacket on the vehicle that she was taking with her from the Gulch. So it's a jacket that I believe is Grace's. We don't really find out who it actually was, but Daniel found the jacket, and Morgan takes the jacket and he goes back into the truck with Rufus. And it's a really cute scene where he's like, all right, how does this work? And he has Rufus smell the jacket to get the scent of Grace from the jacket. And he starts laughing. He's like, I guess you're going to bark or something? Do I got to go back to the last spot I saw it? And so he's going to drive to the gulch where Ginny took them all. He's going to go back to there. And he doesn't make it there because of anything. But so it starts with John and his whole sequence, and then it goes to Morgan's little clip, and then the rest is John's story. So, but I'll cut that to a second. But at the end, the very end, Morgan is driving Emil, the headhunter's truck, down a street, and he's talking to Rufus, who's sitting in the passenger seat. And Morgan's like, yeah, I'm talking to you like a person on there too, you know. And Rufus is looking at him. Rufus is a really cute dog. And then Rufus sits down underneath, like on where the floorboards are. And he sits down and he's petting them or whatever like that. And then Morgan's driving along, and then boom, a car hits Morgan's car, and he spins out and he stops. And the first thing is like, Rufus, you okay? Rufus. And Rufus is all right. He's okay. He went down on the floor, the seats, and he was good. Rufus is safe. Don't worry, Rufus. But it's like at first, you're like, whoa, Rufus. You know, you're worried about the dog, you know, more than you're worried about these animals. Yeah, guys, I don't know where Skidmark is. I don't know. We haven't seen him, but they talked about Skidmark and Daniel, and that's why Daniel has the bump on his head. So I don't know if Skidmark is gone or not. So maybe they got rid of the cat. It kind of hinted like something happened to him, but we're just not sure. But Morgan looks at the SUV that hit him. Morgan gets out, puts his battle axe down, or his axe, I don't even call it. Walks over to the car. The guy gets out, and it's the guy from the submarine that spray painted the end is the beginning on it. And he gets out, and he says, where's Emil? And Morgan says, Ginny knows where Emil is. He's in the box, and Ginny took him. And the guy goes, who's Ginny? He doesn't know who Ginny is. So the two guys, they don't know. They're not connected with Ginny. They don't even know who Virginia is. He looks out. The other guy that said, we got to get out of here. We got to go to another place with the spray paint cans, gets out the other side, comes from behind Morgan. He's got a knife. So it's the two guys from the submarine. Morgan says before that, he's like, yeah, is it an accident? You should apologize. He's like, and you stay right there. You know, he's got his axes. He's ready to fight. They come at him. He stabs the one guy, and he slices him into his stomach. The guy's guts fall out, basically just like Spencer's. So again, took that from The Walking Dead. Negan, Spencer, same thing happens basically there. The other guy comes behind him, starts choking Morgan. Or before that, he says, yeah, I'm looking for the key that he was supposed to get for me. Then they start fighting. They go around there. Morgan's getting choked. He like headbutts them. They fall down. Morgan stabs him with the end of the bow staff that's sharp. Gets him in the heart. The guy's like, ugh. He spits up blood and he dies. Morgan looks at the key around his neck and he say, what do you open? And that's it. And that's the end of the episode for that. So that's the Morgan stuff that's there. It's a couple minutes of Morgan, but predominantly most of John. But after the Morgan stuff, when he drives down the street with Rufus after getting the jacket from Daniel, we go back to John. And John is going into, I'm just remembering the episode as I watched it this morning, but John goes to Cameron's house with two other people, bangs on the door, nobody answers. He walks around the house. He finds someone tangled up in the barbed wire, and two walkers are biting the guy. That's Cameron. Cameron is on the fence, and John finds it, kills the two walkers, stabs the walker of Cameron, the walker, in the head, and he wonders, like, whoa, what's going on here? Well, this is crazy, right? Just as John's around there expecting the scene, who comes around? Virginia and her people. He's like, whoa, back up. This is a crime scene. I'm trying to, block off the scene here. And Virginia's like, well, we don't want to cause a panic. We're okay. We don't want to do this. It's kind of crazy. Like Virginia comes in at the points. So you basically think that Virginia has something to do with it. Did she kill Cameron? Was it an accident? Because she's saying that Cameron was an alcoholic. He drinks on there too. But John doesn't trust that. He's checking things out. He's doing this. He's doing that. Talks to Virginia, talks to this on there as well. But before that, I missed the point that John was writing letters to June, and they were exchanging letters back and forth. John would get his clothes washed by Janice. Janice would take the note, I guess, through the communities, send the note to June. June would write a note back. And then Janice gave the note to John. So they were sharing notes and writing correspondence back and forth. And it was really nice, like pen pals, basically. And it's a shame they can't see each other, especially because John is like part of the community. He's a police officer there. He's kind of a respected part. But, it turns out that Janice was giving the notes to Cameron, was involved with this. And Cameron we don't see this, but we find out from Virginia that she was actually reading the notes. Virginia found out from Cameron, who was giving the notes to Virginia, and they read all the notes. And John's not in trouble because he was basically saying that he likes what's happening here. He feels like it's going good. It's pretty awesome, pretty interesting. But, he's all in for it. He kind of can buy into what Virginia's selling here. So he's not in trouble. Virginia's like, hey, you're good because you know what? You like what we do and you respect what we do here, right? So, but after John goes back to the site where Cameron was tangled up in the barbed wire behind his house, he finds an earring. The earring, he goes to and he talks to Janice about it. And Janice is like, I don't know, anything about him. I don't know him. I don't know what it is. Turns out she lied. But then John goes to Virginia and says, look, protecting people or making people feel safe is one thing, but actually making people safe is another. And that's better. You don't want people to just feel safe. You want people to be safe. He shows the earring to Virginia. Virginia gives this look like, John takes the earring back. Virginia gives him this eye roll, like this dirty look when he leaves the room. So she has something to do with it. Dakota is basically, again, squealing on her sister, saying like, yeah, you're doing the right thing, John. Don't give up. My sister, Virginia, is protecting somebody. She doesn't know who, but Virginia comes out every time and talks for Dakota. She always has these things where she's stepping in and she's basically involved with it. We don't see her doing anything, but we don't know. They have a burial for Cameron. The rabbi has a service. They do all these things and they talk. And it looks like, I'm guessing the graveyard is outside the property of Lawton because there's a lot of graves there. But when John Dury goes back and he digs up the grave because he wants to check the body out, they bury the body. John digs and digs and digs. He was probably digging for hours. He digs up the body, finds the body. Looks like his throat was cut. Also, in his hand is a piece of a bone from the handle of a knife. So John explores that more. And also when he's there, two walkers fall into the open grave. So it's not blocked off. It's not roped off. It's not well protected. What if somebody wanted to go see the graves and be in a protected area? It should be, fenced off. It's a terrible design. But I guess that's what Virginia does. She's not a great lawyer. She's not a great leader. She's not a great person. I still don't know how she's the leader because she's kind of terrible, but she's the leader, so we'll go with it. And John looks into it, but before that, John ran into Strand, who has perks. He's going to meetings. He's got a car. He's driving around at night. He's doing things. And John actually recruits Strand to go back to the grave, shows him the handle, the piece of the handle that he finds. It's a very small piece of the handle. But they say these things. John recruits Strand if he has a key to the weapons locker. And he does, because you have to sign out your weapons. Every time John leaves, he's got to sign it out, and there's there too. Strand gets John into it. He goes in, looks at different things. He looks for different knives. Number 38 isn't there. There's no knife for number 38. But why does Virginia, she should have like her own knife that's not in the system. But either way, you don't have to put everything in there. If you're the leader, you can keep your own stash. You can do whatever you want. But either way, number 38, the knife is not in there. It's a blank spot next to 37 and 39, which have knives in it. John checks the thing. It's a small fold-up knife with the bone handle, and then he goes to the log. That page is ripped out. And Strand's like, of course it's ripped out. They don't want you to find it. What are you talking about? And it's crazy things there too. So John is doing his homework and he's doing his research and he's doing his, detective work against the wishes of Ginny, because Ginny wants to let it go. She's like, don't make anybody this, don't make anybody upset, don't ruffle any feathers, don't do that. So I know a lot of people, there's a lot of Madison talking here too. I don't know why. If it's AMC Walking Dead one, he's just, I don't know if you're ruffling feathers or just here for conversation, but Madison's not in the episode. Some people thought she was going to be in the jail cell, and she wasn't, of course, because Madison is not on the show anymore. She's not coming back. She probably will not be back. I don't know why people love to bring it up, but, Madison is the new Morales. That's what happens, but Madison's not there. Janice is actually in the jail cell because during the funeral, Janice is caught trying to escape, trying to leave. She's arrested, handcuffed by one of the guys, the guy that was causing a problem in the second episode with Alicia and Strand. She's handcuffed. There's a bag. Open the bag, dump the stuff out. And the matching earring that was, on the ground that John found is in there. But that's the dumbest thing ever. Janice didn't do it. It was planted there. But if you did that, if you found that, you wouldn't have the earring in there. You would throw the other earring out. It was clearly planted. It was in the bag. It was whatever. It was just set up. So Janice is in the jail cell. John is trying to figure out what to do. That's when he digs up the body and does all this stuff too. But Janice is locked up. She tells John that she didn't do it. But then she also said, I lied about not knowing him. She was with Cameron. They were both lonely. They come to like each other. They were going to leave. They were going to have gas. They were going to leave on a dirt bike that was hid so far away. They were saving stuff up, and they were going to, in a couple more days or weeks or something, they were going to have enough time to get out of here. So she actually had a thing for Cameron. So she didn't kill Cameron. But after all this, Strand is walking in with Ginny and another person, and John is talking to Janice in the jail cell. And I guess they talked to Janice beforehand because, Ginny says, oh, Mr. Dory, I didn't know you were going to be here for it. And then Strand covers for him like, oh, yeah, John, you got my message. I'm glad you're here. John's like, yeah, I got the message. I'm supposed to be here. And Janice says, I did it. I confess. I killed him, basically what it was. So I don't know why she did it. We don't know. We don't really find out why she did it. But Virginia basically did that for her too. So ultimately, they were going to execute her the next morning. The rabbi, I forget his name, but he's the rabbi, and he's talking with John. And John's drinking a lot. And John is sitting there, and he's doing, he's telling stories to the rabbi. Like, my dad was a police officer, made me a police officer. He met this guy, and there's a story about this guy that was like a leader, a messiah. And he also says, like, he talks about the end. So I wonder if that guy is actually the person that's connected with the end as the beginning guys. We don't know that, but it was kind of a thing where it makes you watch it. When you watch the episode, let me know what you think about that. But ultimately, John is drunk, and he's like, I'm going to try and save Janice. I'm going to try and break her out of jail, give her a bag, get her out of there. The rabbi says, are you sure you're going to do this? You could get in trouble and do this. And John's like, I got to do something. The rabbi leaves. John fills the bag up, gets it all ready to go to give it to Janice to get her out of there. He goes to the jail cell. It's at night. The jail cell's open, leaves. She's gone. John goes to the front gate, walks out to the front, finds a radio, like a boombox. It's basically like the Say Anything boombox by John Cusack. Looks like it to me, at least. He's tied up to a tree to have walkers attracted to there. There was a stake with a chain around a leg. That's, just a leg with a boot there. There's a pile of walkers. John shoots them. John's a dead shot guy, so he's got the aim down, kills a bunch of walkers, sees a body that's half ripped in half. He looks around and sees Janice, who's a walker now, kills Janice the walker, shoots the boombox, and goes back into town. It's the morning now. John is still drunk, I would say. He's got his gun out. He's walking around. The rabbi comes over to him. He's like, yo, relax, John. Don't do this. He's like, you did this? Oh, he knew it, this. And Strand and Rabbi basically helped John stay alive. And they basically told the people what was going to happen, too. So John finds out that Strand basically said something to Virginia and whatever, and he punches Strand. And he hits him with the end of the gun. Strand, they fight back, they fight, they punch, they do all this stuff. The gun's there. The rabbi kicks the gun away. And he's like, you killed her. You did this and that too. John walks away. Strand gets up. He's like, I kept you alive. He did it basically just to keep Madison alive. Or Madison, sorry. There's all this Madison talk in the chat. Madison's not in the episode. But he did it to keep John alive. But Janice is killed off, and Virginia has a big meeting with everybody in the front on her porch, and she addresses that John is a hero. John did this, and he gives John a gold key to Lawton, like the badge that everybody wears, but it's a golden key. And she's like, there's some perks to having that on there too. John goes to his room, not feeling very well, sad, gets a knock on the door. Door opens. It's June. June was transferred to Lawton, so John and June are together. John is upset. June's like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. I'm going to wash up. Goes into the bathroom, gets the pliers, pulls out the tooth. I'm like, oh, that's got to kill. Pulls out the tooth, rips the tooth out, drops the tooth in the sink, and it's got to be pretty terrible. So he does his own tooth extraction there. And then it cuts to Morgan with the two guys from the submarine. Morgan kills them. Rufus and Morgan get in the car accident, and he says the whole thing I said before. Good episode. I didn't see what's happening next week, but I'll watch it and then I'll let you know in there too. I gotta do my review recap of it after I make the live stream, so I'll be breaking it down for you guys. But so let's talk about the World Beyond. World Beyond season 1 episode 5 is a slow episode, not very good. I thought it was okay, but it didn't do anything to help its cause. There's no CRM. It's just the group walking. Elton sees a sign for Daiquiri Town 156 miles away. It starts off with a woman talking about what's the biggest force in the world or something like that too. If you were this person, you would say this. If you were that person, you would say this. Actually, the biggest force in the universe is nature, Mother Nature. It's runs its course, and I'm guessing it's the manuscript that Elton's mom was writing, and that's what is actually the words being read to us. We don't kind of see what it is. But ultimately, it's the kids walking down the way. They come to the Mississippi River. The bridge is out. The military blew up the bridge. Remind me a lot of I Am Legend. They come across boats that are all tore up. They can't find a boat. They got to make a boat with barrels, wood, crates, everything they can. So they go to a warehouse that's a couple miles away. They find a bunch of different things. They find rope and straps and this and a belt and air conditioner thing, and they find nail polish that they use later on for flammable to have a fire on there. And these kids are like, oh, I read a book about making a thing out of this, and we can make a steam engine, and we can make this kind of engine. They can do all these things, right? So, and it's far-fetched that they make this boat that runs on a motor with steam and whatever. It's like, but ultimately they have problems with it, and that's basically the whole episode, is they're trying to make the boat, they're trying to do this. Elton is still recruited by Felix to get the kids to go back. They want them to go back. Elton's like, I don't know, I know, I just don't want anybody to get hurt. And he kind of sees both sides. He wants to help the group. He wants to save the group, but he wants to continue on. But Felix and Huck want the kids to go back, the safest spot ever. You see a lot of Elton's backstory. You see Elton, his dad Isaac, and his mother, who was pregnant. We all know about that. With the baby, Elton feels the baby kicking in his mom's stomach. He names it Esmeralda. Elton's 5 years old. So if that was 10 years ago, Elton's like 15 years old in the current state of the world. And you see that his dad was, I don't know if he's a paleontologist or what, but he has to do with dinosaur bones, dinosaur fossils, and different things that way. He goes there. The mom gets a message over her phone. She's recruited away. That's mostly the airplane where she gets on that day, because it's the day the sky fell. He was in the National History Museum, and it's like predators and prey insectorium on there at the front, because when Elton leaves the he leaves the museum, you see where it's at, and he escapes, and he's the only one that leaves the museum. But his dad is really nice. He's saying them nice things. They're talking about the meteor, and it came and it destroyed the dinosaurs, and that's what tore this. And that's what kind of made Elton continue on with learning about dinosaurs and being a part because his dad got killed there too. So basically, Elton's backstory we find out a lot about. Elton and Felix are talking. Hope overhears, or no, it's Huck and Felix are talking about, well, we got to get Felix, or we got to get Huck, we got to get Elton to, get the people to understand. So I don't know what the episode's not really that great, but we find out that Hope overhears it. She runs over to Elton. Is it true? And basically everybody comes to the same point. They know that Elton didn't want to go back, but he wanted to go back, so he was kind of torn. Hope and Huck kind of have their bonding moments. Hope and Huck, Huck is looking after the kids. She feels like the kids are going to be better for this journey. And you find out that Huck isn't named Huck. They were just calling her that. So we don't even know her real name because she was going down the Missouri River and her arm was broken. People from the Omaha, I think it was the Omaha, security people found her floating down the Missouri River. And her arm was broken and she wasn't doing well. And they call her Huck. So does she have amnesia from stuff that she doesn't remember? Is she not letting people know her real name? Is she not knowing stuff? So I got it as her nickname is Huck, like on the raft, Huck Finn, kind of thing. Old school that way too. So basically stuff hits the fan and they're talking about it, this and that, but they keep working on the boat or the raft. And there's some things where, Hope talks to Felix yeah, when you were recruited by our dad to be our brother, we were excited, but you never wanted to be there. You had multiple opportunities to be our brother, but you didn't see us as your sisters. You saw us as your problem. And then we find out that Felix was supposed to go with Dr. Bennett, but Will went instead because Dr. Bennett wanted Felix to look after the girls. So, we find out about them. We find out a little more of the backstory on there too. And basically they make the boat. They float across the river. Day turns to night. But before that, Daiquiri Town is this little small shack thing. I mean, it's a souvenir shop. It's got some things. It's not some big thing that they're trying to portray with all these, animals and all this stuff. But Elton and Silas go back to get the flammable nail polish to burn in the fire for the engine to work. Silas and Elton go there. They come back. They bring it back in time and whatever. What's her name? Iris and Felix talk, and they're, having their help. Do you think my dad is dead? Do you think he's alive? Felix is like, look, he's got to be alive because Will's got to be alive, and they're going to be okay. We're going to see them again, and they could do that too. As they're walking back towards the Daiquiri Town, it's a small little building, shack, basically a daiquiri shack, basically what it is. Felix or Iris is like, are your hands tingling? My hands are tingling. And then lightning strikes this, pole, and the pole falls down to the Daiquiri Town. The door magically swings open and all these walkers come out. It's kind of funny. It's kind of laughable. But there's a storm in the background. There's no rain. There's just lightning that randomly comes. It's a nice sunny day, but they bring in some clouds there too. It's just not done very well. But they have to run back to the boat. Felix grabs the fishing pole that Elton had. He wraps it around the tree, makes somewhat of a block for the walkers. The walkers still get around it. Felix is taking the walkers out. The belt comes off the thing. Elton has to go underneath the... he puts the thing in, or he has to go underneath the raft, and then he looks up at it. And then he has to get in there because he's claustrophobic. We find that he's claustrophobic, and he's not in a locker like he was, like we thought he might have been in the previous episode. He was basically put in a box in his dad's office during the night the sky fell. And he was scared, and there was, zombies and screaming and biting and gunfire and all this crazy stuff. And he's sitting in there. And before that, his dad gives him the horn, the Triceratop horn. And he said, whoever has this horn will be kept safe. It'll be safe for you. Keep this horn on you to stay safe. And he keeps it, and he's in the box, and he's crying, and he's sad, and he's hearing things, and he's 5 years old. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. So he's claustrophobic because he's been in there. So we find that out. But he goes underneath the raft. He puts the belt back on. He's freaking out. He gets it running again. Everything's good. He's like, I'm stuck. And he's scared. He's freaking out. He's looking at his screwdriver. He's holding the horn. He's holding that. They pull him out and he's okay. Elton calms down. Felix is fighting off the walkers. Hope and Iris come and tackle a walker and they help him and they save the day a little bit. They come back. They're pushing the raft. Everybody but Felix is pushing the raft. Push. They're doing this. Then Felix comes in with a board and he's come on, I can't do this alone. They're pushing. They get into the raft. The raft goes away. They float away. They're good. The walkers fall into the water while our group falls away. Day turns to night. They set up camp. Huck's like, look, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look a day, maybe two at the tops. I'm going to find out what's ahead of us. You're only as good as your intel. So she goes and leaves at night, which is not the smartest thing, but it's The Walking Dead. She leaves at night on her own. She goes. The kids are all talking. Elton goes away from the group, thinks about his mom, writes down some things in the manuscript, remembers the things with his dad and his mom and stuff on that stuff too. He remembers leaving the museum, finding a flyer to go from the museum to the NSU, Nebraska State University, the safe zone, the evacuation plans. So that's where he went. He went from the museum to Nebraska State University too. So he goes in and he sitting there. He's thinking about things. He's getting upset. Hope comes over to him. They talk about things, talks about his parents, talks about this, and Hope's like, I would like to have met them. They made such a cool kid. And he's like, yeah, I know that the odds would be astronomical, but I just wish, and I feel like they're still alive somewhere. His mom and his sister, who would have been born by now. And because he knows that his father died because the walker that's by the door for it, and he was shot and killed down there too. So man, AMC. Let's see. AMC, The Walking Dead 1's got a lot to say about Madison over and over again. He's got a lot of stuff to say in this chat. It's pretty hilarious. But Madison's not coming back around as far as I know. But people love to stir the pot there. But ultimately, they remember stuff. Hope and Elton are talking. Hope looks down into the book. Elton shows her the picture of his mom, the picture that we saw before. He finds out that, or Hope recognizes the woman as Elton's mom. And she doesn't say anything because there's some rustling in the trees. Elton and Hope come back to the group. Felix, I guess, went away to say bye to Huck. And Iris is like, I got it, because it's just an empty. She goes underneath the border that they set up with these like rope things. She goes around and she looks around and she says, and we don't say anything. And we see a guy has like a stick and he puts it down, and that's the end of the episode. But you see, next week's episode, you find out that it's a guy, I guess a white teenager kid. He says that he was with these two guys or these two people. He woke up and his stuff was gone. And Felix also comes behind the guy, the kid, and says, I dropped a weapon. And Iris wants to help the kid get his stuff back. Felix doesn't want to do that, of course. And so that's next episode. But it ends with basically the kid having his stick and he moves it, and we find out that it's a person, not an empty. And that's the episode. So it's a lot of the raft. We find out that Hope knows about the kid, or knows about Elton's mom. And she'll know that Elton's mom is the person that she killed, but also Elton's mom killed her mom. So that'll be explored later on. But this is the midway point of the season. Season 1, episode 5 is the midway point because there's 10 episodes. Season 1 is 10 episodes. So it's halfway there. We don't see CRM. There's no connection with that. So I don't know how other channels and other things are going to be having connected. Oh, Rick was there on the raft in the Mississippi River, and he was connected with Deuce, and that's where he lost his boots, and then someone picked him up and took him over there. And I don't know. I don't know what the crazy things for all that stuff, for what it is. But we'll see how it goes down. Also, I believe that The Talking Dead is only on streaming services for tonight and probably the rest of the season, however many episodes it's going to be. So I know it's on AMC Plus, but you can get AMC Plus if you have AMC, or if you have Amazon Prime or other streaming services. So AMC Premiere, I've kind of learned this because I don't have a cable box. But if you get AMC Premiere, that's the service that's $5 a month for being different program that you have a cable provider. AMC Plus is like an app on AMC or on Amazon Prime or Sling or Xfinity or something like that too. And that's $9 a month plus taxes and fees. So it's probably over $10. So we're missing out on Talking Dead. It's going to be on there. So if you have AMC Plus or AMC Premiere, enjoy it, have it on there. But, you know, a lot of people are pissed because they're not going to buy another streaming service. They're not going to buy another app or anything like that for more money. People have a cable box and they pay for enough on that too. So it's just a money grab for a lot of people is what they're saying, is how they feel. And I kind of agree, because if Talking Dead was normally on television, why is it on there? Why is it not on TV anymore? You got to be the service. If you want to watch that, you got to have that. And I think ultimately AMC is trying to do that for a lot of things. We'll see if the movies go there whenever they actually get filmed. So I don't know. It's one of those crazy things that Talking Dead will not be on television tonight. Maybe it'll be online down the road. So we'll have to see what happens with it, guys. So Talking Dead is actually an episode. It's probably pre-recorded, but you know, it won't be on television. It'll be on some different things too. So we'll have to see where we're at. And there we go. So Fear the Walking Dead is good tonight. John Dory exclusive episode. Now it's a lot of John Dory episode with Morgan and Strand and other people in it. It's a good episode. It's a good continuation of season 6. Continue on for good stuff. Walking Dead World Beyond. It's one of the weaker episodes. I don't know what's weaker, last week's episode of World Beyond or this one. They're both about the same amount of weak. You know, it doesn't really do much to help the story. It helps the backstory and the stuff there too. So we'll have to see what happens with, you know, I guess we still have to get the Hope backstory. We saw a little bit here and there throughout the thing. But we got the Silas backstory, we got the Elton backstory, we got the Felix backstory a little bit. We're getting more and more backstory, so it's a then and now. But there's only 5 more episodes, so we'll have to see where it goes too. So AMC The Walking Dead one. Do you know why Talking Dead is not a weekly thing anymore? Probably because not as many people are watching it. Not as many people are watching The Walking Dead and The World Beyond, or The Fear of the Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead is still the main show. It's the main thing. I don't know if they can have guests because we wouldn't have Walking Dead guests on there. Fear of the Walking Dead is filming, so I don't know if they could really do that. I'm sure they could. It's pre-recorded. But it might have been tough to get the midway point. So I don't know if we'll get it tonight and then also for season 6, episode 8. So maybe a couple weeks that way. But I guess stay tuned for Talking Dead. It's probably just not enough demand for it. That's probably the biggest thing. Because people watch Talking Dead after The Walking Dead. I just think that's what it is too. So see you, Diana. But ultimately, guys, there you go. I went a little over for it. I'm glad we made the hour or we went over past the hour. But thank you guys. If you can, just like the video. It's an easy way to help support the channel. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel and help us achieve that goal, or towards that goal of 100,000 subscribers. We only need 6,000 more, and we're getting there, closer too. So yeah. Deborah says Huck's backstory hasn't been told yet too, so we got to see that. So again, we got 5 episodes left, so I'm sure we're going to see a lot more backstories of Huck, probably more of Hope, a little bit of Iris, maybe a little more of Felix, maybe a little bit more of Dr. Bennett. We'll have to see things. Hopefully we'll see more things connect with CRM, maybe Omaha. Not sure how things are going to be. But thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time. Like I said, if you can just like the live stream, like the video, and be a subscriber, truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, blocking out the haters, and doing what you love. I'll be posting my review and recap of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be Walking Dead World Beyond on Monday. I have a Negan video that I have to post. and some other videos. I got to do some breakdowns for it down the road. But thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Be safe. Hopefully you had a good, happy Halloween. I said at the beginning, happy Halloween belated. We're in November now, so it'll be Thanksgiving before you know it. Enjoy tonight's episode. I'll be back to talk about things later on next week, and I'll be back next Sunday for a live stream. Thank you guys. Stay safe and see you. See you guys.